Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever stopped to ask yourself why you want what you want? Not just the car, the job, the relationship, but the feeling behind it: fulfillment, security, freedom. We live in a world that tells us to chase goals, climb ladders, and grab success. But too often, we chase without direction, achieve without purpose, and arrive without meaning. Today, I want to challenge you to think differently, to stop asking what you want and start understanding why you want it. Because when you begin with why, the how becomes clear. This isn't just about getting things. It's about creating a life so aligned with who you are that what you want naturally flows toward you. So let's begin, not with strategies or shortcuts, but with clarity, purpose, and belief. Most people go through life setting goals based on what they think they should want: money, fame, status, or recognition. But very few pause to ask themselves, why they want these things. That question, why, isn't just philosophical, it's foundational. It determines the clarity of your vision, the sustainability of your effort, and ultimately the depth of your fulfillment. When you start with why, you tap into a level of purpose that fuels you far beyond superficial motivation. Consider the difference between two people chasing the same goal. Both want to build a successful business. One is driven purely by the desire to make a lot of money. The other wants to solve a problem that deeply affected their life. Who do you think will persist when things get hard? Who will stay grounded when success brings distraction? The one with a meaningful why always has more fuel. When the what becomes difficult or blurry, the why keeps them on track. Your why is your reason for being. It's the emotional driver that sits beneath your goals. It's what makes you feel alive, passionate, and compelled to act. Without a strong why, your efforts risk becoming hollow routines. You may achieve the goal, but find yourself feeling strangely empty afterward. That's because the achievement lacked alignment with your deeper sense of purpose. Getting what you want means understanding what truly matters to you, not just chasing the things others say should matter. To begin with why, you must reflect. Ask yourself, what is the impact I want to have? What legacy do I want to leave? What change do I feel compelled to create? These questions help peel away the noise of societal expectations and ego-driven desires. They take you to the heart of who you are. The more honest and vulnerable you are in answering them, the more powerful your why becomes. A strong why also brings clarity to decision-making. When you're tempted to quit, you remember why you started. When opportunities come that aren't aligned, you're not swayed. It becomes easier to say no to distractions because your yes has direction. In a world that constantly pulls you in 1,000 directions, knowing your why is like having a compass. It doesn't remove the storms, but it keeps you from getting lost in them. One of the most liberating truths is this: you don't need to justify your why to anyone else. It only has to matter to you. Whether your why is to inspire others, to create freedom for your family, or to heal a part of yourself through your work, if it moves you, it's valid. And once you are connected to it, people will feel that authenticity. Energy rooted in purpose is magnetic. It draws people resources and opportunities because it's real. Simon Sinek famously said, "People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it." That doesn't just apply to businesses or brands, it applies to individuals. When you live from your why, you inspire others. You become more than someone chasing goals. You become someone others want to follow, support, and grow with. So if you want to get whatever you want in life, don't start with what you want. Start with why you want it. Let that why shape your goals, your habits, your relationships, and your vision. Everything you want becomes possible when it's powered by something greater than just desire. When you start with why, you stop chasing and start attracting. Before anything can become real in your life, it must first exist clearly in your mind. This is where the power of visualization comes in. Not as wishful thinking, but as intentional mental creation. Every great achievement starts with a vision. If you can't see it, you can't create it. But when you visualize with clarity, you program your mind and body to work toward that outcome, almost like setting the GPS before you start driving. Without a destination, motion becomes meaningless. Too many people walk through life with vague desires. They say things like, "I want to be successful," "I want to be rich," or "I want to be happy." But when asked to define what that actually looks like, they draw a blank. Vague goals produce vague results. Clarity is power. If you want something, you need to know exactly what it looks like, feels like, and even what it costs to attain. Visualization is not just about imagination. It's about precision. When you visualize clearly, you activate a part of your brain called the reticular activating system, RAS. This system helps you notice opportunities, people, and resources that align with your goals. It's like when you decide buy a red car and suddenly you start seeing red cars everywhere. They were always there, but your brain is now tuned to notice them. The same happens when your vision is clear. Life begins to reflect what you consistently focus on. This practice of mental rehearsal is something elite athletes, entrepreneurs, and performers use regularly. They don't just practice physically, they visualize themselves succeeding, overcoming obstacles, staying composed under pressure, and reaching their goals. The mind cannot always distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. So when you practice success in your mind, you're actually preparing yourself for it in reality. But visualization isn't just about the end result, it's also about seeing the process. Too often, people imagine success without imagining the struggle. True visualization includes the challenges, the setbacks, and the resilience needed to keep going. When you mentally prepare for the ups and downs, you're less likely to be derailed when they come. You've already seen yourself overcome them in your mind, so your body follows suit. To visualize effectively, you must be specific. Instead of saying, I want to be wealthy, ask yourself, how much money do I want? What kind of life do I want that money to support? Where do I live? What do my mornings look like? What do I do with my time? The more details you include, the more real it becomes. It's not about fantasy. It's about building a roadmap for your future. Also, visualization should be emotional. It's not just a mental picture. It's a full sensory experience. Feel what it's like to accomplish your goal. Feel the pride, the peace, the excitement, or the gratitude. Emotions are what imprint memories and make beliefs stick. When your vision carries emotion, it becomes part of your identity. You stop merely wishing for something and start believing it's already on its way to you. A clarity through visualization also builds confidence. When you've seen yourself succeed over and over in your mind, you begin to believe in your ability to make it happen. Self-doubt fades because your inner world is already familiar with success. This internal certainty shows up in your actions, decisions, and presence. And that's exactly how you start aligning with what you want in the real world. In the end, the future belongs to those who can see it before it arrives. When you visualize with clarity, you move from reacting to life to creating it. Your dreams stop being distant ideas and start becoming inevitable outcomes. So take the time to see your vision, fully, vividly, and repeatedly. Because once you can see it, you're already halfway there. Getting whatever you want in life is not just about setting goals or taking massive action. It's about alignment, specifically aligning your actions with your values. When what you do is in harmony with what you believe, your path becomes smoother, your decisions clearer, and your outcomes more meaningful. Without this alignment, even success can feel hollow. But when your values and actions are in sync, you create momentum that feels authentic, powerful, and deeply fulfilling. Your values are your internal compass. They represent what matters most to you: honesty, growth, compassion, freedom, excellence, service, or creativity. These aren't things you learn from the outside world, they're truths you discover within yourself. And once you're clear on them, they guide your behavior. Every decision, every action, and every commitment can then be evaluated through the lens of those values. The problem arises when people chase goals that look good on the outside, but conflict with who they are on the inside. For example, someone who values family but chooses a career that keeps them away from home 300 days a year may find themselves constantly anxious or resentful, even if they're making a lot of money. Another person who values honesty might struggle in a high-pressure sales job that rewards manipulation over transparency. No matter how talented or hardworking they are, misalignment will create internal friction, and over time, that friction leads to burnout, confusion, or regret. When your actions reflect your values, you become congruent. People sense it. There's a certain confidence and calm that comes from being the same person in every room. You stop pretending, stop overcompensating, and start operating from a place of truth. That kind of integrity is magnetic. People trust you more. Opportunities fit you better. You stop forcing things and start attracting what resonates with who you are. Aligning with your values also makes you more resilient. When things get tough, and they will, it's your values that keep you grounded. If you value perseverance, then failure doesn't scare you, it sharpens you. If you value service, then you'll keep going even when recognition is missing, because you know the deeper reason behind your effort. Your values become your fuel, your filter, and your foundation. But alignment doesn't happen by accident. It starts with self-awareness. You have to know what you stand for before you can live it out. Take the time to ask yourself, what matters most to me? What principles do I want to live by? What kind of person do I want to become? Your answers will reveal your core values. And once you know them, the next step is to audit your life. Are your daily habits, relationships, and goals aligned with those values? If not, where's the disconnect? What needs to change? Sometimes alignment requires sacrifice. It might mean leaving a job, ending a relationship, or saying no to a tempting opportunity. That can be uncomfortable, but temporary discomfort is a small price to pay for long-term peace and authenticity. The truth is, Success that costs you your values isn't success, it's a compromise. Real fulfillment comes when you can look in the mirror and know that you didn't just win, you won without losing yourself. Living in alignment doesn't guarantee an easy life, but it guarantees a meaningful one. And that's what we're really after, not just getting what we want, but becoming who we're meant to be. When your actions reflect your values, you no longer have to chase fulfillment. It starts to chase you. The world responds not to how loud you are, but to how real you are. So be real, be aligned. Let your values lead and let your life reflect them. That's how lasting success is built. We often hear people say they're waiting to feel motivated before they act, but the truth is motivation is unreliable. It's fleeting, emotional, and inconsistent. It comes and goes depending on how you feel, what's happening around you, and even what you ate that day. If you rely on motivation to get what you want, you'll find yourself making excuses more often than progress. That's why discipline is more powerful than motivation. Discipline is what gets results when motivation disappears. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's not about being harsh or rigid. It's about being committed. Discipline is a promise you keep to yourself. It's waking up early when your bed feels warm, going to the gym when you'd rather stay home, writing that page when inspiration is missing. It's showing up again and again because the outcome matters more than the momentary feeling. The people who achieve great things don't always feel motivated. In fact, they often feel tired, uncertain, or even discouraged, but they've trained themselves to act anyway. They don't wait for the right mood, they create the right habits. That's the difference between wishful thinking and consistent achievement. Discipline builds habits, and habits create results. Over time, those results create momentum, and that momentum reinforces your commitment. It becomes a self-sustaining cycle, but it all starts with discipline. Discipline is also a form of self-respect. It's telling yourself that your goals, your health, your future, they all matter enough to be prioritized. When you live with discipline, you stop betraying yourself. You don't keep setting goals only to break your word. You don't rely on external validation to stay on track. You become your own accountability partner. You begin to trust yourself, and that self-trust is one of the most powerful forms of confidence. Another key aspect of discipline is that it creates freedom. That may sound contradictory, but it's true. When you are disciplined with your time, you gain more of it. When you are disciplined with your money, you feel more secure. When you are disciplined with your habits, you gain more energy, focus, and peace of mind. Discipline in the short term leads to freedom in the long term. It's a trade-off that always pays off. But building discipline doesn't mean being perfect. It means being consistent. You will slip up, miss a day, or make a bad choice. That's human. Discipline isn't about never falling. It's about always getting back up. It's about shortening the gap between failure and recovery. The more you practice it, the faster you bounce back. Eventually, discipline becomes part of your identity. You stop thinking, I should do this, and start believing, this is just who I am. The good news is, discipline is a skill, not a trait. You're not born with it or without it. You build it. Start small. Make a promise to yourself and keep it. Then do it again tomorrow. It could be 5 minutes of reading, a short walk, a daily journal entry, or waking up at a consistent time. Over time, these small acts of self-discipline stack up. They create the foundation for bigger wins and deeper confidence. So if you want to get whatever you want in life, stop waiting to feel ready. Stop chasing motivation like it's a magical force. Motivation may get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going. Be the kind of person who shows up whether it's convenient or not. The kind who moves forward even when no one's watching. Because in the end, it's not the most inspired person who wins. It's the most disciplined one. In a world where many people are focused on taking attention, taking opportunities, taking credit, the most successful and fulfilled individuals are those who focus on giving. The principle is simple yet powerful: serve before you receive. If you want to get whatever you want in life, shift your mindset from what can I get to what can I give? Because value creation always precedes value attraction. When you become someone who solves problems, contributes meaningfully, and uplifts others, success starts coming to you, often in ways you didn't expect. Think about it, every product that sells, every business that grows, and every leader who gains influence does so by serving a need. No one builds a thriving life or career by demanding results before offering value. Whether it's through your skills, your time, your energy, or your ideas, when you focus on being of service, you instantly stand out. People are naturally drawn to those who bring solutions, not just expectations. The world doesn't reward takers in the long run, it rewards contributors. Serving doesn't mean being a doormat or saying yes to everything. It means leading with generosity. It means asking, how can I help? How can I improve this? How can I make someone else's experience better? This could be as simple as helping a colleague without being asked, giving your full attention in a conversation, or going above and beyond for a client. These small acts of service compound over time, building a reputation of reliability, trust, and excellence. This mindset shift also has a powerful internal impact. When you focus on serving, you stop obsessing over outcomes you can't control. Instead of worrying about whether you'll get recognition, money, or success, you concentrate on doing your best work. That focus leads to higher quality, deeper engagement, and more fulfillment. Ironically, when you stop chasing rewards and start pouring into others, the rewards tend to chase you. In relationships, both personal and professional, the same principle applies. The strongest connections are built not on what you take from people, but what you give to them. Want to build trust? Be the first to show it. Want support? Be the first to offer it. Want to be heard? Learn to listen better. This isn't manipulation, it's leadership. When you lead with service, you create a ripple effect. People are more likely to return the energy you give out. Moreover, service builds emotional resilience. When you're focused on helping others, you rise above your own stress, doubt, or fear. Purpose replaces pressure. It becomes easier to endure challenges because you're not just working for yourself, you're working for a cause greater than you. Whether that cause is your family, your community, your team, or your customers, serving gives your effort deeper meaning. The irony is that most people spend their energy trying to get something from the world, while the people who consistently give end up receiving the most, whether it's in the form of relationships, opportunities, loyalty, or growth. This isn't magic, it's a law of life. You harvest what you plant. And if you consistently plant seeds of value, kindness, and contribution, your life will be filled with abundance. So if you want to get whatever you want, start by asking, what can I offer? It's not always about having more resources, it's about being more resourceful. Your time, your insight, your empathy, your effort, they all count. Be the person who brings something to the table, not just someone waiting to be served. When you show up with a heart to give, you won't have to chase success, it will find its way to you. There is one quality that quietly separates those who merely dream from those who actually achieve: resilience. In a world where setbacks are inevitable, where plans rarely unfold exactly as expected, and where rejection and failure are part of the process, resilience is what keeps you moving forward. It's the ability to bounce back, to adapt, to stay focused when things fall apart. If you want to get whatever you want in life, you must understand these talent helps, strategy matters, but resilience is the real superpower. Resilience isn't about never falling. It's about how you respond when you do. Everyone fails, everyone struggles, and everyone faces moments of doubt. What makes the difference is the choice to rise again, not once, but repeatedly. Resilience means having the mental and emotional strength to keep going when others quit. It's the inner decision to persist through discomfort, uncertainty, and adversity because your purpose matters more than your pain. Most people give up not because they lack ability, but because they lack endurance. They hit one obstacle and assume it's a sign to stop. But obstacles are not stop signs, they're tests. They challenge your commitment. They ask you, do you really want this? Are you willing to grow through this? Will you stay the course even when it's not easy, exciting, or glamorous? Resilient people answer yes to those questions, even if they're scared, tired, or unsure. What builds resilience is not a single grand event, but daily choices. It's showing up again after a failure. It's having a difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. It's pushing through the workout when you're tempted to quit. It's applying again after a rejection. These moments may seem small, but each one strengthens your ability to endure. Resilience is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. One of the key traits of resilient people is perspective. They don't see failure as a reflection of their worth. They see it as a step towards success. They understand that setbacks are temporary and that each one contains a lesson. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in mindset turns pain into power. It transforms adversity into growth. Resilience also comes from having a strong reason why. When your goals are connected to something meaningful, whether it's your family, your passion, your mission, or your values, you're far more likely to keep going. A weak why will crumble under pressure. A strong why becomes your anchor in the storm. It reminds you of what you're fighting for and helps you push through when motivation fades. Support systems matter too. Resilient people don't try to do everything alone. They seek guidance, ask for help, and surround themselves with people who uplift and challenge them. Community strengthens resilience by reminding you that you're not alone in your struggle. It gives you perspective, encouragement, and accountability. Even the strongest people need others to lean on sometimes. And perhaps most importantly, resilient people give themselves permission to feel. They don't pretend that everything is fine when it's not. They process pain, but they don't live in it. They honor their emotions, but they don't become controlled by them. They fall apart, and then they rebuild. They understand that resilience is not about being invincible. It's about being real, being human, and choosing to rise anyway. So if you truly want to get whatever you want in life, develop your resilience. Expect that the path will be hard. Expect that you'll be challenged. But also believe that you have what it takes to overcome. Keep showing up even when it's hard. Keep believing even when there's no proof yet. Because the ones who make it aren't the ones who had it easiest. They're the ones who refuse to give up.